Vimuchya kavacham veerah vinikshipya varayudham avarukya rathat turnam padbhyam eva kritanjalihi. He's going towards the eastern direction. Vagyata prayayau dvira prangmukho ripuvahinim tam prayantam abhiprikshya kunti putram vrkodaraha. The moment the eldest brother gets down from the chariot and he's walking towards the other army, as he's going, Bhima says, I must protect him. Stupid brother of mine, what is he doing at the last moment? Cold feet? Is he changing his mind? Is he surrendering? What is he doing? Nobody knows. Bhitam tu yudhishtiram matva bhimasena pratapavan vasudevaccha bhagavan prishtato anujagamaha. Sometimes, in famous movies, sir, the director appears along with the actors. Suddenly one scene, Alfred Hitchcock. Similar you find, while Yudhishthira is walking, the Lord is also walking. What is happening? I don't know. What is happening? I don't know. If Bhima is walking, I'm also walking with him. If Yudhishthira is going before us, I'm also going. So there is the all-knowing, omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient God walking along with Yudhishthira. The children, the younger ones, they're worried. The twins are saying, why is he leaving us? What is Arjuna saying? Kim te vyavasitam rajan yadasman apahaya vai. Why are you abandoning your brothers, Swami? Why are you going? Bhima says, Kvagamishyasi rajendra nikshipta kavachayudaha. Perfect direction. Vyasa's direction is meticulous, immaculate direction, flawless, faultless, blemishless direction. Yudhishthira does not even look at them. He's just looking straight at the enemy. With folded hands, he's going. Kvaivam gamishyasi shreshta tyaktva asman durbalo yatha. Nakula says, are you having cold feet, sir? Are you afraid of the war? We are there with you. Don't worry, sir. We are there. Sahadeva says, Asmin rajasamuhe vai vartamane mahahave yodhavye kvanugantasi. Where are you going, elder brother? Where are you going? Why are you abandoning us? All five of us are always together. Why are you leaving us together alone? Sanjaya says, No vacha vagyata kinchit gacchatyeva sa yudhishthiraha. The Lord answers, Abhiprayosya vijñataha mayeti prahasanniva. Mayeti prahasanniva. I know the abhipraya. I know the innermost feeling of Yudhishthira. Why? Because I am the indweller. Prahasanniva. Vaiji Mahendraji, the Lord's smiles are of several sorts. He is the greatest actor I have known in the world. Sri Krishna is an actor unsurpassed. Sakalakala adiguruhu nanartha, says the Bhagavata. Sakalakala adiguruhu nanartha. He is the first one among all artists. Sometimes his smile is simple, sometimes charming, sometimes beatific, sometimes sardonic, sometimes cynical, sometimes sarcastic, sometimes proud, sometimes divine, sometimes beatific, my dear listeners. So many types of smiles he has got, so many types. And for each one he has a look, particular look. Prahasanniva. You don't know. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smriti jnanam apohanam cha. I know what is in the heart of Yudhishthira because I am the propeller and impeller of all thoughts. I know the inside story. You may hide it from the world, but not from the indweller, who is Sri Krishna himself. I think he is going to bow down to the gurus. Esha bhimam, esha bhishmam cha dronam cha, gautamam shalyameva cha, anumanya gurun vruddhan, yotsyate parthivo aribihi. All of them are silent, wondering what is happening. There goes Yudhishthira. Tamuvaja tato dhiman, padau sampidya pandavaha, bhishmam Shantanavam Raja Yuddhaya Samupasthitaha. Pitamaha, Yudhishthira bows down to you, and he is holding the feet of Bhishma. And Yudhishthira says, Jayeyam charipun sarvan anugnyatastvayanaga. I want you to bless us that we should win against you. What cheek? What cheek? This is the only way he can corner the great man. If you had not come, I would have cursed you, says Bhishma. Which means Yudhishthira knew that Bhishma knew that he was going to bow down to him. What a combination of enemies. It's usually a combination of friends. This is a combination of noble enemies. Each one knows the other. I would have certainly cursed you if you had not come now. Yadyevam nabhigachetvam yuddhaya kritanischayaha shapeyam shapeyam tvam maharaja parabhavaya bharata. I would have cursed you to lose this. Then, my dear listeners, I want you to note these words in golden letters. In golden letters. We have 4 aspirations in Hindu philosophy: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. And artha is very important. Without wealth, you cannot live. Without wealth, you're a wreck. Without wealth, you're a pauper. Without wealth, nobody cares for you. Without wealth, even your wife abandons you. Your children neglect you. Very true that we need wealth, but please remember what Aurobindo said, let possessions not possess you, my dear listeners. Let possessions not possess you. Wealth should sit light, not heavily on us. The great one called Bhishma is saying, Arthasya purusho dasaha, dasasvartho na katsyachit, iti satyam maharaja, baddhosmi arthena kauravaihi. What a confession. Pay packet, sir. Pay packet. I am appointed by them as the commander-in-chief. I can't resign my job. Arthasya purusho dasaha. Man is the slave of wealth, and wealth is the slave of none. Man is the slave of wealth, and wealth is the slave of none. And that is why today I am caught by wealth. I am fettered by wealth. Iti satyam maharaja, baddhosmi arthena kauravaihi. Baddhosmi arthena kauravaihi. Yudhishthira is very tenacious, He doesn't want to give up. I came to ask you a question, sir. What is it, my child? How do we win you? How do we defeat you? Only a pure man can ask this question of another pure man. And what is the answer that Bhishma gives? He says, come after 5 o'clock. 9 to 5 is office hours. We can reveal official secrets after 5, not between 9 and 5. Between sunrise and sunset, we are enemies, Yudhishthira. After 5 o'clock, you are my grandchildren, my dear. Come and listen. I have no enmity against you. I have been appointed by the Kauravas to fight, and that is why between 9 and 5 I fight, not after 5. Come back, come back. A lovely Upakatha from the Gita press comes to my mind. It has been announced. Everybody has heard. And what have they heard? That Bhishma has decided to kill all the Pandavas one day. He has decided. And he has made an announcement too. I'll read out the passage later. And then the whole of the Pandava army is fully nervous, because any day they know if Bhishma has made up his mind, it's going to happen. The Lord says, Draupadi, come with me. Late in the night, nearly 12. From their tent to Bhishma's tent, they're walking. The Lord covers himself with a shawl. Mother Draupadi covers herself with a shawl. As she's walking, her sandals are screeching. He says, remove the sandals, give them to me. Krishna takes the sandals and holds them. Both of them reach Bhishma's tent. Bhishma, you can imagine the beautiful scene. If you have imagination enough, a huge tent, Bhishma's tent. There must be a pole in the center. He must be holding it and wondering, how do I plan the strategy against the Pandavas? I want to kill all of them. And as he is lost in thought, a woman veiled is bowing down to him. He thinks it is Bhanumati. He thinks it is Duryodhana's wife. He says, Dirgha Sumangali Bhava. Slowly she unveils herself and says, Pitamaha, it is Krishna. Who brought you here? My maid, Swami. I am curious to see your maid. Very hesitatingly, she takes him out. The Lord is covered with a shawl. Maid, unveil yourself, says Bhishma. And as the Lord unveils himself, the sandals fall from his hand. Bhishma bows down and says, Draupadi, a family in which Krishna holds your sandals cannot be defeated, my dear, cannot be defeated. Zari ki pagdi bandhe, sundar aankhon wala.
Zari ki pagdi bandhe,
sundar aankhon wala. Kitno sundar lage bihari, kitno lage nirala.
kitno sundar lage bihari, kitno lage nirala.
कभी चमके हीरे की बाली, कभी मोतियन की माला.
कभी चमके हीरे की बाली, कभी मोतियन की माला.
कितनो सुंदर लागे बिहारी, कितनो लागे निराला. जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे श्याम. The entire Kaurava family knows that Bhishma has told them again and again, it's impossible for us to conquer the great ones called Pandavas. But one day he has to face this terrible situation. Ajeya Pandava Yuddhe Devairapi Savasavai Yattu Shakyam Maya Kartum Vruddhenadya Gatayusha Karishyami Yatha Shakti Pashyedanim Sabandhavaham. Many of us have bad bosses. Can't help it. Just as we have bad children, bad wives, bad husbands, bad bosses are also part of our karma. Bhishma was also cursed with a bad boss. One fine day you have Duryodhana walking into the tent of Bhishma and calling him grey-bearded traitor, Namakharam Budhe. Zaban Sambhalo Duryodhan. How dare you talk to me like this? Of course you're a traitor, sir. Every day you say you will kill a Pandava, and every day you hang down your head. Today I will cause havoc. I will cause havoc, says the Vriddha. The old man in me tells you, Duryodhan, I will cause havoc in the Pandava army. Make them run helter-skelter. The whole world will witness how brave I am. I will do all that I can at this ripe old age. Vriddhenadya gatayusha karishyami yatha shaktim pashyedanim sabandhavaham. And when he comes over, tatastu Krishnas samare drishtva bhishma parakramam samprekshaj mahabahu parthasya mrudu yuddhatam bhishmam chashara varshani srujantam anisham yudhi pratapantam ivadityam madhyama sadhya senayo amrishyamano bhagavan keshava paraviraha achintayat ameyatma nasti yaudhishtiram balam ekanahi rane bhishma nashayet devadanavan kimnu pandusutan yuddhe sabalan sapadanugan. Bhishma is causing havoc everywhere. He's killing people by thousands and thousands and thousands, and all the Pandava army, they're running helter-skelter. The Lord cannot bear it anymore. He says, no, at this rate, in one day, the angry Bhishma will kill the entire Pandava family. He is capable of it. It's a very delicate moment, a moment of decisiveness, and decision making is always taken in one moment, the right way or the wrong way. Sometimes you keep your vow and save your friends. Sometimes you break your vow and save your friends. The latter is more noble than the former, my dear listeners. The latter is more noble than the former. The master of the world is breaking his vow. When Arjuna and Duryodhana came to choose between the battalions and the non-fighting Krishna, Krishna had taken a vow, I will never take up arms. And Duryodhana was very happy that Arjuna had chosen a non-fighting Krishna and he had chosen the well-equipped battalions. Today the Lord says, no time to hesitate, no time to prevaricate, no time to think of prestige. For me, the Pandavas are important. Mama prana hi Pandava. They are not 5 Pandavas, they are my Pancha Pranas. My master, the Lord of the world, the one who has no equal in the world, the one who is known for his vows, the one who is known as Dridhavrata, the one who has never broken his vow in the world, for the first time is breaking his vow. And you see in the picture, my Lord jumps out of the chariot, the earth is shaking, the heavens are trembling, his Uttariya is flowing behind him, my Lord is walking with the chariot wheel. Arjuna says, foul, master, foul. You can't break your word, sir. You have said you will never take up arms, and yet you have taken up arms. Why was it? Only then Bhishma realizes, Master, I told Duryodhana that I will either kill a Pandava or make the non-fighting Krishna take up arms. I did not know it was not Duryodhana listening, but Damodara who was listening to me. As he gets down, Dravate cha mahasanyam Pandavasya mahatmanaha Soham Bhishmam nihanyadya Pandavarthaya damshitaha Tatas sunabham Vasudeva putraha Surya prabham Vajrasamaprabhavam Shurantamudyamya Bhujena chakram. Very easy for B.R. Chopra to direct. How did the Lord take up the chariot? He put his shoulder under the axle and lifted the chariot wheel. He who carries the 3 worlds in him, can't he carry a chariot wheel, my dear listeners? Can't he carry a chariot wheel? Bhujena chakram. With his shoulder he takes the chakra. Kshurantamudyamya bhujena chakram rathat avaplutya visrijyavahan. An ace driver sometimes lets the car go and jumps off the driving car, the car that's moving. Similarly, he lets go the galloping horses and jumps off the chariot. As soon as Bhishma sees him, he says, Swami, welcome, Swami, welcome. Today you have saved my prestige, Swami, although you have lost your face. The annals of history will record that you lost your face, Master. But you save a bhakta's face before his boss. You didn't let me down, my Lord. You didn't let me down. Ehi devesha jagannivasa namostute madhava chakrapane. Prasakyamam pataya lokanatha ratottamat Sarva Sharanya Sankhe. Kill me, Master, kill me. I want to be killed at your hands. I can be killed only by your hands, and give me the life and death that I desire. Bhishma, ehi pundarikaksha deva deva jagatpate tvaya devena sangrame hatasyapi mamanagha. What a glorious death it will be at your hands, my Lord. The Lord walks 10 steps. Even this is recorded in the Mahabharata. 10 steps. Meticulous direction, I told you. And you have Arjuna holding his feet. Nijagraha rishikesham katanchit dashame pade nivartaya mahabaho nandritam kartumarhasi. This is how the Lord saved the Pandavas by making Bhishma go into an emotional mood. Mamaisha bhara sarvohi hanishyami pitamaham shape keshava shastrena satyena sukrutena cha. This is how the master of the world made Bhishma realize how much he loved the Pandavas and how much he loved Bhishma too. One day, when Bhishma meets Yudhishthira after 5 o'clock, he says, Master, did you not ask me to come after 5? One evening, how do we win against you? Krishna tells him, Krishna is the advisor. Krishna tells him, go and ask him what his vulnerable point is. Don't beat about the bush. Go directly to the question and ask him, what is your weak point? Where is it that we can find you weak? Even every great man has a weak point. So tell us, sir, what is your weak point? There is one way I can tell you. Arjuna samare shura puraskritya shikhandinam mameva vishikaistikshnai abhidruvatu damshitaha. Let Arjuna place Shikhandi before him in the Ratha and shoot from behind him. The world will think that it is Shikhandi who is shooting. When someone who is effeminate, when someone who has already been a woman, when someone who is a eunuch sits in front of me, I have taken a vow that I will not fight with them. I throw down my arm because I'm a man of men. As a great warrior, I feel it is below my dignity to fight with someone who has been a woman, or one who is effeminate, or one who is a eunuch. Either way, any one of these, and I know Shikhandi was a woman once, and now is a man. Place Shikhandi before him and let Arjuna fight with me. The Mahabharata records, Arjuna samare shura puraskritya shikhandinam mameva vishikaistikshnai abhidravatu damshitaha evam te pandavas sarve puraskritya shikhandinam vivyuduhu samare bhishmam parivarya samantataha. This is how Arjuna began to shoot at Bhishma with all the sharpest arrows that he had. And as he was shot from all sides by Arjuna, Arjuna has the capacity to shoot several million arrows in one moment. That is his capacity. And please remember, he can shoot with 2 hands. What one person can do with one hand, he can do with 2 hands, ambidextrous warrior. So with both the hands he could shoot. Every time Bhishma Pitamaha takes up a particular weapon, he shoots at that weapon. And finally, the lips of Bhishma are dry, says the Mahabharata. Srikni parisamlihan shaktim jagraha tarasa gina apidaranim. It took a Shakti. Even that Shakti was destroyed. After that, karanadvayamasadya naham yotsyami pandava. If I want, listen to me, says Bhishma. If I want, I can destroy the Pandavas in one day. Shaktoham dhanushaikena nihantum sarva pandavan yadyesham. I can kill them in one day. If they were not protected by Krishna, I could have killed them in one day. But he is the shield, he is their armor, he is the 24-hour security. What can I do? He never takes a holiday. He never moves away from their side. If they were not protected by Krishna, I could have killed them in one day with one bow. Yatyesham na bhavet gopta vishvakseno mahabalaha karanadvayamastaya naham yotsyami pandavan avadhyatvacha pandunam. There are 2 reasons why I cannot fight against them today, Kauravas. One is they are Krishna protected. The second is Shikhandi is sitting in front of me. And I have taken a vow that I will never take up arms when I find an effeminate person sitting in front of me. Pitra tushtena me purvam My father was pleased by my mammoth sacrifice, by my mega sacrifice. And that is why I was called Bhishma, the one with the terrible vow of celibacy. He gave me a boon that I could die when I want. Now has the time come that I will wait for the Uttarayana and I will opt for death. This is Bhishma's decision when he says, Swachanda Maranam, Swachanda Maranam. I have got the capacity to choose my death and I will wait for it. Saying this, Nacha Tachushruve Kachit. As soon as he says, this is the time I'm choosing death, you find that there are drums and trumpets heard from heaven above. Only Sanjaya heard it, only Bhishma heard it, and there was a rain of flowers that the Lord wanted and approved. This is how Bhishma should act. Rite Bhishmam Mahabahum Mam Chapi Munitejasa Nachatat Shutruve Kantit Tesham Samvatatam Nripa. Only Sanjaya and only Bhishma heard about this great conversation that was taking place. Every inch of Bhishma's body was pierced with the sharpest arrows of Arjuna. When you have a small baby, and you're very fond of the baby, when the baby is naughty, the baby kicks you in the chest. If it's the neighbor's child, you will throw him down. Your child, no? Adi. Maro, aur bhi maro. Apna bachcha hai na? Bhishma says. What did Duryodhana say? What did Dushasana say? That these are the arrows of Shikhandi. They cannot be the arrows of Shikhandi. They are the arrows of the ace archer, non-parade, dexterous archer, Drona's prized disciple, my child Arjuna. They pierce into my bone marrow. They pierce into my bone marrow. He has not spared an inch. Look at the network of arrows that he has formed in my body. I am proud of his archery skill, although I am the dear victim of his archery. Look. Neme bana shikhandina, naime bana shikhandina, naime bana shikhandina, naime bana shikhandina. In the pain of death, he realizes the pleasure of recognizing the merit of a great warrior, my dear listeners. The merit of a great warrior. This is a true warrior, The dying warrior recognizes the bravery of a young man who has really come up in life by his skill of archery and by the grace of the Lord. The proficiency of Arjuna is accompanied by the divinity of Krishna. Please remember that. The proficiency of Arjuna is accompanied by the divinity of Krishna. Mere proficiency is not enough. God propelled, God sustained, God dedicated proficiency leads you to success, my dear listeners. That is Arjuna. That is the lovely combination, enviable combination of Nara and Narayana. Shitagrai Phalgunena Jau Prakshira Prafatat Rathat Kinchit Sheshe Dinagare Putranam Tava Pashyatam Dhritarashtra. You ask me, Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsavaha Mamaka Pandavachaiva Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. I am reporting now. I am giving to you every word, every scene that took place. This great man had arrows all over his body and he fell. When he falls from the Ratha, simple direction, the arrows become a bed. So he's fallen. Only the head is hanging. The best scene where you see Bhishma as Bhishma in the video of B.R. Chopra, the last scenes of Bhishma. I hope you remember the last scene. It's one of the most powerful scenes when the head is hanging. What happens? Saha Bhishmena sarvesham prapatat hridayaninaha. When Bhishma fell, The heart of the Kauravas fell, says Sanjaya. Our hearts fell because we knew if he is gone, we are also gone. Rathat prapatitam chainam divyo bhava samavishat. I have told you again and again, my audience, in death and in sleep, the real swabhava of the person is evident. My Lord Sri Rama was pretending to sleep with his hand, with his elbow for a pillow. And that Jnani called Vishwamitra is looking at him. He's fascinated because, this is not Dasharatha's son. This is the Lord of the world. And no wonder he becomes emotional. He says, Kausalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartate Uttishta Narashardula Kartavyam Daivamanhikam Kausalya Supraja Rama. The Lord is sleeping and he says, I am not jealous of anybody but Kausalya who wakes him up every day, seeing his divinity. So beautiful he is. He is not Dasharatha's son. He is Lord Narayana himself. That is how, in death and in sleep, the real nature of the person is evident. Suddenly, the Ashtavasu that he is a Vasu, he is a denizen of heaven. So that Devatva comes into Bhishma now. Divyo bhava samavishat sthitosmiti jagangeya tachrutva vakyam abravit uttarayana aditye hamsa satyam bravimi vaham. I am waiting for Uttarayana. I will wait because it is said in the Gita, those who pass away after Uttarayana never come back into the world. It's a point of no return. As he is lying on the bed of arrows, Kala Kankshi Sthito Abhavat. His head is hanging. No, everybody runs for a pillow. Only Arjuna knows this brave man's head, brave head needs 3 arrows as a pillow. And he bows down to Pitamaha and places 3 arrows as the headrest. Arjuna, I'm thirsty. Water. Thirsty, Arjuna, thirsty. Everybody runs for water. Arjuna knows Ganga Putra will have only Ganga Jala, nothing else. Nothing less than Ganga Jala. He takes an arrow and shoots it in the center of the earth, and Mother Ganga flows. This is the Ganga Sutra, I remember, of Adi Shankaracharya. Devi Sureshwari Bhagavati Gange Tribhuvana Tarini Tarala Tarange. Devi Sureshwari Bhagavati Gange Tribhuvana Tarini Tarala Tarange. Shankara Moli Viharini Vimale Mama Matirastam Tava Pada Kamale. Shankara Mama Matirastam Tava Pada Kamale. Bhagirati Sukhadayini Mata Tava Jala Mahima Nigame Khyata. Naham Jani Tava Mahimanam Pahi Kripa Mahimam Ajnanam. Naham Jani Tava Mahimanam Pahi Kripa Mahimam Ajnanam. Patitodharini Janhavi Gange Khandita Girivara Mandita Bhange. Janhavi Gange Khandita Girivara Mandita Bhange. Bhishma Janani He Munivara Kanye Patita Nivarini Tribhuvana Dhanye. Bhishma Janani जननी हे मुनिवर कन्ये पतित निवारिणि त्रिभुवन धन्ये देवी सुरेश्वरी भगवती गंगे त्रिभुवन तारिणि तरल तरंगे शंकर मौली विहारिणि विमले मम मतिरास्तां तव पद कमले शंकर
मौलि विहारिणि विमले मम मतिरास्ता तव पद कमले
देवी सुरेश्वरी भगवती गंगे त्रिभुवन तारिणि तरल तरंगे. How did you like the Sanskrit? That is Adi Shankaracharya's lilting music, lilting stotras that Bhagavad Pada wrote for us. Mother Ganga is invoked by Arjuna and he shoots into the center of the earth and there comes Mother Ganga. What are your computerized fountains? Perfect timing, perfect spacing. There you have Gange. जीवन सफल कर दे
हृदय कोमल कर
उत्पपात ततो धारा वारिणो विमला शुभा शीतस्यमृतकल्पस्य दिव्यगन्धस्य च अतर्पयत् ततः पार्थ शीतया जलधारया विस्मयं परमं जग्मु ततस्ते वसुधाधिपाः ततस्ते वसुधाधिपाः. All the kings who were gathered there were shocked, zapped, wondering how could Arjuna bring Patala Ganga right from the middle of the earth into the mouth of the great one called Bhishma. While he lies on the Sharatalpa, Bhishmacharya says, stop this. Stop the war with me. Your brothers, the famed families, like the right hand killing the left hand. Don't do that. Enough of bloodshed. Stop with me. Stop with me. Let this war stop with me. Yuddham madantamevastu. Madantam, with me. Yuddham madantamevastu. Tata samshamya pandavai. Jishnuna samare rajan. Sandhir bhavatu machiram. Please shake hands with Arjuna. Don't allow Arjuna to grow angry. It means there is going to be devastation for our dynasty if he is angered because he has got the angry Lord with him. Kaunteyatvam. As all of us know, whenever an elderly person is in the ICU is a place where you say, I see you, you don't see me. Very sad. Somebody took me to the ICU once, saying that I had a heart attack. That was 10 years back. I said, no, I have to come to Naradagan Sabha and do Bhishma. How can I die? I came back. I knew what it was. Terrible experience when you go to the ICU. You know what it is. The Mahabharata is telling us. As he is lying there, everybody who wants to come and bow down to him does so. There is one rebellious fellow called Karna. Karna has great plus points and equally minus points too. The reason is that he is always suffering from an inferiority complex, that he is an orphan. It's a strange world, my dear listeners. From times immemorial, the application form says father's name. How does it matter? What matters is you, not for what your father was. If you have a father, great father, it's okay. But you should not be disqualified for not knowing your father. Every time this brave hero was asked, who is your father? He said, don't ask me that question. The only unnerving question in the world which makes me look at heaven helplessly, ironically, is looking at the sun god who is his father. Very sad, very sad. That Karna has been very cheeky in courts sometimes. Sometimes these rebellious young people talk ill of elders, not knowing that they should not. Not they want to, they feel bad within themselves. But some young blood, some rebellious blood in them makes them talk ill of Bhishma, Drona, and Kripa. Karna has said quite a few things like this and said, until you are fighting, I will not fight. This was a boon for the Pandavas and a bane for the Kauravas. Karna comes slowly, seeing the great man has fallen. He comes slowly and bows down to him and says, forgive me my trespasses, Swami. In my youthful rashness, I said quite a few impudent things. Look at the generosity, the magnanimity of Bhishma. Who said you are Radheya? You are Kaunteya, Karna. Let me give you the secret of your birth. You are not an orphan, the firstborn of Kunti. You are a Kaunteya. Kaunteyatvam na Radheya. Everybody called him Sutaputra, Terotti Magan, Sutaputra. Arjuna called him Sutaputra. Kripacharya called him Sutaputra one. Draupadi called him Sutaputra. Everybody called him Sutaputra. You are the charioteer's son, found in a wicker basket down the river, not knowing who your parents are. This is what everybody said. Naradheya kaunteyatvam nava athiratha pita. Don't think it was the Athiratha who was your pita. Nachadveshosti metat Tvai satyam bravimite. Because you were born out of wedlock, because you were born out of wedlock, you suffered this complex, and that is what made you have adharma mati. I hope you remember. He is the one who wanted Mother's Draupadi to be disrobed. That special suggestion came from Karna. Why? Because he was born out of wedlock. It was an adharmic thing that came because of samskara hinatva. The Mahabharata is telling him, you are not to be blamed. Your birth is to be blamed, child. Janami samare viryam. The final Bharat Ratna award is being given to Karna by the dying Bhishma. There is no one equal to you, Karna. How can anybody say there is a superior warrior in the world? Janami samare viryam. Shatrubit dusaham bhuvi. You are the invincible warrior, the unassailable hero, and the non-pareil donor of the world, my dear. There is no charitable man like you. Brahmanyatam cha shauryam ta dane cha paramam titim. Karna, why don't you join hands with your brothers? Sodarya Pandava Veera Brataraste Arisudana. Go and join them. No, Swami. You were bought by the pay packet, I was bought by sentiment. The day everybody was asking me, who is your father? Who is your father? When I did not have an identity card, Duryodhana gave me a royalty card and made me a king of Anga. How can I forget him, sir? How can I forget him? I cannot. My life, my wealth, my prowess, everything is of Duryodhana, by Duryodhana, and for Duryodhana. I have to die for him. I have to die for him. There is no doubt about it. Because Pandavas are invincible. The reason is very plain. Pandava Vasudevascha Vidita Mama Sarvashaha Ajeya Purushai Anyai Ititam Chotsyamahe. I am fighting with them, although I know that Pandavas protected by Krishna can never be defeated. Bhishma is now waiting to tell us what he tells the world again and again. Let me tell you, Karna, O Kauravas, listen. Where there is dharma, there is victory. Go back to my master, Anantaram Dikshirji, who in his inimitable voice would say, Yato dharmas tato Krishna, Yato Krishnas tato jaya. He Guru Vairappa, Yato dharmas tata Krishna, Yato Krishnas tato jaya. Where there is dharma, there is Krishna, and where there is Krishna, there is victory. They may be pitched against the best stalwarts, but in the face of the war against Pandavas, nobody can win because the Lord is with them. Because the Lord is with them. Vaishampayana concludes, those who listen.
Narayana Narayana Bhajamana Narayana 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 Bhajamana Narayana 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 Bhajamana Narayana 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 Bhajamana
Vaishampayana concludes by saying, those who listen to this episode of Bhishma, Shrunuyat Siddhim Anvichan, Ihava Amutra Manavaha, either in this world or that world, he attains success. After listening to Bhishma's great work and deeds, Bhojanam Bhojayet Vipran, Gandha Malyer Alankratan, Bhishma Parvani Rajendra, Dadyat Paniyam Uttamam. Generally, when we have a traditional Bhishma Parva Katha in the Mahabharata, we distribute Panakam because he was thirsty and his thirst was quenched. That is how the tradition goes. I will be failing in my duty if I do not complete this analysis of Bhishmacharya with the stava. One day, Krishna is in deep meditation. Yudhishthira is curiously looking at him. You who are the object and subject of everybody's meditation, what are you meditating on? Hey Yadava, hey Krishna, what are you lost? Where are you lost? Where have your thoughts taken you? Sharatalpagato Bhishma Shamyan iva hutashanaha. Like a fire that is being extinguished, that great Bhishma lying on the bed of arrows is calling me. Mam dhyati purusha vyagra tato me tangatam manaha yasya jyatala nirghosham vispurjitam ivashane nasahit devarajopi tavasmi manasagataha. The twang of his bow, the twang of his bow makes Indra tremble in heaven. My mind has gone there. Yam Ganga Garbhavidina Dharayamasa Bharatam Vasishta Shishyam Tam Tata Gatosmi Manasan Nripaha. I've gone there. I've gone, Nripa. I've gone there. My mind has gone there. Come, let's go. He is the beautiful child who was trained by Parashurama in the art of archery. Ramasya daitam shishyam jamadagnyasya pandava adharam sarva vidyanam tamasmi manasagataha. In the golden chariot of Sri Krishna, you have Yudhishthira and Krishna reaching Bhishma. Bhishmastu purusha vyagra karmana manasagira sharatalpagata krishnam pradadhyau pranjali shuchihi. I have never seen such an offering as the offering of prayer that comes from Bhishma to Lord Krishna. He is lying down and bowing down to him. Swami, stand before me when I breathe my last. 1 in a million can command the Lord to do that. Only a pure soul can command the Lord to do that. Watch me when I'm leaving the world. And the Lord watches. The Lord watches. Because in his heart of hearts, he has a very soft corner for Bhishma, who loves him, and who has always loved him. Yam devam devaki devi kritanjali puto bhutva vagvidam pravara prabhu Bhishma paramadharmatma vasudevam athastuvan. he is speaking words of eloquence to the master of eloquence called the Lord. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande paramananda madhavam. Only the Lord can make the dumb eloquent. It is that Lord is bowing down to. Master, in what words should I praise you? This is called Bhishma Stava Raja. This is the king of hymns. Do you understand? This is not a hymn. It's a king of hymns. Stava Raja. Stotra mein Raja hai. Among the stotra, this is the Raja. That is why it's called Bhishma Stava Raja. And any shloka chosen from this will give you great love and great devotion to the Lord. My master, I bow down to you because you are seen by me in every form. Shuline Tridasheshaya Trayambakaya Mahatmane Bhaspadigdho Urdhadehaya Tasmai Rudratmane Namaha Sarvada Sarvakaryeshu Nasti Tesham Amangalam Esham Hridisto Bhagavan Mangalayatanam Harihi Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu Mangalam Madhusudana Mangalam Pundarikaksha Mangalam Garudadhvajaha. Famous verses. We don't know they are from Bhishma Stotra. My master Dikshitar had a lovely way of explaining. You find one pranama to Krishna is equal to 10 Ashwamedha yagas. Are you following? I'll complete in a few minutes, don't worry. One pranama to Krishna is equal to 10 Ashwamedhas. But after 10 Ashwamedhas, like exhausting your dollars, you'll have to come back to the world. But one pranama to Krishna will never bring you back into the world, will give you moksha. Who can forget my master and the way he would deliver these words? Eko hi Krishnasya krita pranamaha dashashvamedha vabrutena tulya dashashvamedhi punareti janma Krishna pranami na punarbhavaya. He Guruvayurappa ekopi Krishnasya krita pranamaha. One prostration to Krishna is equal to 10 Ashwamedha yagas. But after performing 10 Ashwamedha yagas, you come back into the world. But when you do pranam to Krishna even once, you never come back into the world. It's the point of no return, my dear listeners. The Lord has said in the Gita, Brahma bhuvanan lokan punaravartino Arjuna mam upetyitu kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate ekopi Krishnasya krita pranamaha dashashvamedha vabrutena tulyaha dashashvamedhi punareti janma Krishna pranami na punarbhavaya. It is in this state that the great Bhishma gives a lot of advice to us. He has given to Yudhishthira advice about Tridharma, Bhagavad Dharma, Dana Dharma, elaborately and in brief. And he gave the Vishnu Sahasranamam also. The same great man says, those who think of Krishna in the morning, those who think of Krishna at night, enter Krishna as oblations enter the sacrifice. My dear listeners, Krishna Vrata, Krishna Manusmarantaha, Ratraucha Krishnam, Punaruthitayai, Te Krishna Deha, Pravishanti Krishnam, Ajyam Yatha, Mantrahutam Hutashe. This is the verse that I have chosen in my Mangala Shlokas, if you remember. My master is looking at him as he is breathing his last. The Mahabharata tells us he has several great works of wisdom to tell us because he has given us what we really wanted in the world, and that was wisdom. My dear listeners, to sum up, after Bhishma's analysis is over, I thought, let me sum up this for you. Who is this great man? What does he do to us when he is amidst us in the Mahabharata? How much of wisdom do we find from him? If Krishna is the most fascinating personality in the Mahabharata, Bhishma is a name to be reckoned with. He is brave, he is strong, he is able, he is divine, he is kind, he is noble, he is committed, Above all, he is an ascetic in a royal garb. If there is sensuousness as a desert in the Kaurava kingdom, he stands as an oasis of values. He is steady in his vows, firm in his principles. His humility is equaled only by his abstinence. He has the power to rule and yet obeys rulers because of the word he gave to his stepmother Satyavati. Bhishma moves the onlooker with his sagacity, serenity, and spirituality. To know him is to know ancient wisdom in a nutshell. To listen to him is a crash course in comprehensive educational system. Mrs. YGP agrees with me. His skill in archery is the envy of gods. He grows old gracefully and stronger day by day. His pristine purity, his outstanding self-control, his awesome vow of celibacy leave him a legend in his lifetime. Bhishma has the rare privilege to force the Lord himself to break his vow to keep his. It is a rare occasion when the divine will succumbs to the human will and man conquers God. While the latter accepts defeat in a graceful manner, in a world full of pelican children who destroy parents alive and break their hearts, Bhishma is a beacon light of filial loyalty, abounding love for the parent and God. My dear listeners, as I was reading one of these verses in the Mahabharata, my heart went out to Bhishma. Bhishma passes away from the world. How does he pass away? The Mahabharata says, one by one, the arrows were falling off. I hope you know, prana departs. And when prana departs from the body, that part of the body becomes shitila. As the prana is moving out of his body, so easy for Bira Chopra. The arrows are falling off, which means the prana is slowly coming up from the foot onwards. And everybody is watching him die. Yet munchati gatram hi sashantanusthutat tada tat vishalyam abhavat yoga yuktasya vaikramat tad drishtva vismita sarve. Everybody is watching. This is the death of a yogi. This is how the yogi dies. He is allowing the prana to go out. You can imagine. It is a process. It's a yogic process because of that awesome vow of celibacy. Pure man. He could control his breath. He could hold it as long as he wanted, and he could leave it when he wanted to leave it. He's slowly leaving the breath out of the body. And as people are watching, they are zapped. Jagama abhitva murdhanam divam abhyut utpapataha devadindu vinadacha pushpavarshai sahabhavat. There was trumpets and bugles from the gods above. He has departed. They take this beautiful body and the samskara of Bhishma is performed. All of us know that the ashes of a pure Hindu are immersed in the pure Ganges. I can never describe this scene without breaking down. Mother Ganga is welcoming her son back to herself. I gave him to the world. The world is giving him back to me, says Mother Ganga, accepting the immersion of his ashes, my dear listeners. What a scene it was. What a scene it must have been when Mother Ganga allowed her own son's ashes to be immersed in her. Jagmur bhagiratim punyam rishijushtam kulotvaha tato bhagirathi devi tanayasya udake krute. She rose from the river in a human form and accepted the ashes herself, my dear listeners. Uttaya salilat tasmat rudati shoka vikvala sha ashvasayama satada samna damodaru vibhu. When she is crying, Lord Krishna is consoling her, my dear listeners. This is the last and the lasting scene of Bhishma. Thank you. May the Lord fulfill all your dharmic desires. Please bless me as long as I live. Let me carry this message of faith and grace wherever I go. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanurdaraha, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir, Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Name of Narayana. Narayana, 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 Narayana. Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhut Dhruvani Tirmatir Mama.